Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Today, of course, is Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2026. Hello, Necessary. See you right there. So, well, I guess now that we have at least one other person here, um, I guess I'll just jump right into talking about what's on tap for tonight. So, tonight, we're going to start off, we're going to just go through some articles from Anime News Network, get all caught up on all the latest in the realm of anime. Um, some of the latest news in regards to um, the latest in anime releases. Maybe pick up some other stories depending upon what they've chosen to cover today. Then, of course, we'll do the wrestling route, look back to last night's Monday Night Raw, look ahead to tonight's NXT, probably talk a little bit about NXT's PLE this Sunday, Great American Bash, and then wrap things up with this day in each history. Let's see now. Latest news in anime today. It, all woke nonsense and people arguing over shade of blue is netter. Well, okay, so I decided the other day to start using Anime News Network as a news site necessary because that Park Place just something's going on with it where it just won't let me access the site right now. Well, I can access the site, but then they won't really, they'll keep telling me something about you know, I don't know, just it's just harder to access it in a way to where and get the news art. So I've been using Anime News Network. I'm gonna probably try after the show here to check for updates and see if that will fix them because I've had some issues going on with that and with Facebook too in regards to sharing links. So it's because they want money. Yeah, of course they want money. But I mean, I don't mind if they advertise, but as long as they don't force me not to, they're gonna force me to pay them money before they'll let me even really utilize the articles. And I'll just move on to another site, obviously. Um, so anyways, with that being said, um, they give you poor service and give you R-rated advertisements. Well, yeah. Well, it's not as even as much as that. Um, a lot of the advertising are more for gaming stuff and stuff like that. But anyways, with all that being said, why don't we get into the articles? Right away here, as I said. Resubmit the form. Oh boy. Oh, why did I do? All right, so here we go. Here's starting off. So at the very least, some of these is just basically release information starting over in Japan. So it's not obviously always about what the Western localizers are doing woke wise and all that, but Mike, there's a background noise in your mic. Well, probably because I have my windows open. And does it sound like cars or stuff like maybe that's coming from the outside? If it's that, then it's because my windows are open and maybe the mic is catching that. Or does it sound, or is it something different, like static or something like that? Yeah, music, cars, except it's probably just the fact that it's probably just that outside stuff. Fair enough. And this site seems less woke than the other one. Well, actually, if anything, no, if anything, this Park Place and Bounding into Comics, those are all, if anything, this one is usually considered the woke site. Okay. It's just that this one has more, just release information, whereas the other one will actually go deeper. The other ones will go into deeper stories. All right. Now, granted, Bounding in the Comics was even more conservative um, before the guy who founded it left and started up that Park Place. But again, that's another story for another day, though. Anyways. All right, so friendly reminder to everybody, of course, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So let's get into the articles here. We're now approaching 8 minutes here. Let's see. All right. Oh, one thing getting. All right. Let's see. 20th centuries. Well, here's something that I think a lot of people would probably be into, considering the name here. So, 20th century anniversary, Sergeant Frog films new video previews opening song. Singer Ano, comedian Soshina performs Mata Kayatekita Kateka Kaitekta Quiero no to March opening for film opening on Friday. All right, so let's see what we have here. The staff of Shin Geki Joban star Keroro Unso Fukatsu Shite Shoko Shikyu Matsuda Nokiki de Arimatsu, New Sergeant Frog the movie. The Earth is in mortal peril as soon as we come back. Parentheses. The new 20th anniversary anime film project began streaming its quote unquote Reiwa in Kero to Fukatsu Kero, a comeback in the Reiwa era, promotional video on Tuesday. The video introduces Sergeant Frog's platoon and also features the previously announced opening theme song, quote, Mada Kaitekta Quiero to March by singer Ano and comedian Soshina. Let's see. The film will open in Japan on June 26th, so this Friday. Jesse of the idol group Six Tones is voicing both new characters Aruru and Deruru, who are brothers from the planet Charon, Charon, who apparently have a past link to Sergeant Frog's unit. Opening theme song artist Ano and Soshina are also guest cast members in the film. The former is playing a researcher robot, and the latter is playing a quote-unquote man in Shibuya. The guest cast members also include Tomokazu Seki as Warrior Number 7, Natsuki Hanai as Alien, Koichi Yamadera as Space Police Chief, idol group I think Joy or Joe 1 member Keigo Saito as Shibuya Man, Fantastic Idol group member Yusei Yagi as Shibuya Man, Suzanne as Kumamoto announcer, Hinata Zaka 46 Idol group member Rina Watanabe as Shibuya Woman. Try saying those names 3 times fast, folks. Anyways, as we, of course, continue on with this particular story, Yuichi Fukuda, live action, in parentheses, known for his roles in live action Gintama, Saint Young Man, HK Hentai Kamen, is the supervising director and scriptwriter for the film, with Fumitoshi Oizaki, in parentheses, Sergeant Frog, character designer, as well as Romeo and Juliet, Edo Tama, Akuma-kun, the Gorilla Gods, Go-To Girl, directing the anime at Bandai Namco Pictures, and Satoshi Koike, also of Edo Tama, as well as Soul Eater Not, Princess Connect, Regarding Dive Season 2, as character designer. In addition to the opening theme song, Ano will also perform the, in parentheses here, Kashipanashi Destiny theme song for the film. In addition to the film, an all-new Sergeant Frog television anime titled Kororo Gunso will debut in fall of 2026. So coming up this fall, the television anime will have a brand new cast, while this summer's film will still feature the existing cast in the franchise. Crunchyroll added. Now, Crunchyroll, since they've taken over Funimation, they probably will be the ones doing the English dub, if they do English dubs on these. Added the earlier television anime to its catalog, beginning in 2021, and it describes the anime. Keroro is Sergeant Frog, the leader of a platoon of warriors sent to conquer planet Earth. But when the amphibious invaders discovered how much humans enjoy dissecting their comrades, the troops were scattered, the mission was aborted, and Kororo was abandoned. Now, the once proud soldier spends more time wielding a vacuum than he does the weapons of war. It's a far cry from the glory of battle, but hey, at least he's got his own room. And though the invasion may have slowed to a hop, Sergeant Frog still occasionally yearns to overcome his karaoke addiction and reassemble his troops. Hmm. Sunrise's earlier anime series, based on Mine Yoshizaki's Sergeant Frog, Kiroro Gunso, manga run from 2004 to 2011, and it spawned 5 feature films. Funimation released 2 seasons, quote unquote, of the anime on DVD after ADV Films had licensed but not released the anime. Discotek licensed the anime, and its release of Sergeant Frog includes all 358 episodes in successive SD or standard delivery Blu-ray disc volume releases by season, beginning 2021. Discotek released seasons 5 through 7 last year. American manga publisher Tokyo Pop released 20 volumes of the original manga in North America before shutting its doors in 2011. So it's okay, so all right, so there we go with that one. Let me go with that story. That was, I guess, one that was obviously some of because people have obviously heard of Sergeant Frog. It was on Funimation Channel before Crunchyroll bought out Funimation. Let's see what other news we can find here. First off, wait, that's a review. Uh, 18 minutes, all right. Ribbon on. All right, let's see. Well, we got another anime film coming out here, I guess. Let's look at this one here. All right. The Ribbon Hero anime film's second trailer unveils more cast theme song. Article by Egan Liu. I guess we forgot to do that. Published earlier today at 8:42 a.m. Seiran Kobayashi, Koki Uchiyama, Mayumi Shintani co-star with theme by Japanese Korean group Girls Archives. All right. Anime studio Twin Engine posted the second trailer for The Ribbon Hero, its new anime film based on Osamu Tezuka's Princess Knight, Ribbon no Kishi. All right. So I guess it was a good thing we 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 chose this one. Manga on Tuesday. The trailer announces more cast members, and it also announces and previews the theme song "Reborn" by the Japanese Korean group Girls Archives. The newly announced cast members are Seiran Kobayashi as Pine, Sapphire's friend. So I guess Seiran is the one on the right there. The character is the one on the left. Koki Uchiyama as Velvet, a leading figure in the religious organization Mitra. So Velvet on the left there, Koki Uchiyama on the right. Mayumi Shintani as Zurko, Sapphire's elderly attendant. The character on the left, the actress on the right, the Sergio on the right. Netflix describes the story. Sapphire is the princess of a kingdom that no longer exists. Having lost everything in her homeland to Silverland, to the calamity known as Nergal, quote unquote, she wanders in despair until she finally arrives in Goldland. Though burdened by her past, she begins to find a glimmer of hope as she encounters the kindness of the people there. But as if to sneer at her peaceful new life, the calamity of Nergal appears once more. The very despair that once reduced her homeland to ashes now threatens to steal the light from this land as well. Quote, I won't lose anything ever again, and I won't let anyone else lose anything either. Unquote. Brushing away her tears of sorrow, the girl takes up her sword. This is a story of a lone hero who lets her ribbon and who ties her ribbon and resolves to defy her fate. Saya of the comedy duo Lalande stars as Sapphire. According to Netflix, this is Saya's first leading role in a feature-length animated production. Let's see. And again, friendly reminder, everybody, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. I'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. With that being said, with that being said, let's get back to the article. Let's see. Yuki Igarashi, in parentheses, of Star Wars Visions, Lop and Oko, Jujutsu Kaisen, first ending sequence, fame, unquote, is directing the anime film at his new anime studio Outline as his feature-length directorial debut. Kei Mochizuki, in parentheses, Looper's visual novel, Twin Star, Cyclone Runway novel, Criminal Girls game, unparentheses, is designing the characters with character design cooperation from Mai Yoneyama, in parentheses, of Kizniver Colors music video, parentheses, Issei Arakaki of Vladlove and Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaho Nation, Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaho Exceeds, Gun Breeze, and Vengeance, parentheses, is the animation character designer. Cedric Herole, in parentheses, Wait for Me, and Magic Carp, on parentheses, is credited with for artistic direction. Satoru Kosaki, in parentheses, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and Ruichi Takada, Shangri-La Frontier, parentheses, unparentheses, both from Monaka, are composing the music. The additional staff members include Nergal Design Okama, Art Director Masanobu Nomura, Color Key Artist Natsumi Watabe, CG Director Akine Nagamine, Compositing Director of Photography Hikaru Fukuda, Editor Junichi Uematsu, Sound Director Keiichiro Miyoshi, Sound Production Toho Koshinsha Film Corporation. Let's see. The film will premiere exclusively on Netflix worldwide on August 8th. This year's Annecy International Animation Film Festival is featuring film as part of Annecy Presents, one of the festival's non-competitive sections. The event is running in Annecy, France from June 21st to 27th. So I guess if you're in Annecy, France, you can go and check it out right now, because we're in that stretch, that 7-day stretch right now. Kodansha USA Publishing most recently released Tetsuka's Princess Knight manga as a one-volume omnibus in August 2022. Tetsuka launches the manga in Kodansha's Nakayoshi magazine, or launched the manga in Kodansha's Nakayoshi magazine in January 1958. Vertical release manga in 2 volumes in print in 2011 and digitally 2015. Also, of course, the first anime series was released back, I think, in like 1967 as well. So, with that being said, let me see. I'm gonna need to go off. I'm gonna need to go off camera here for a moment. So I'll be right back. So, anyways, but I will put some music on while I'm gone, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's continue on with let's see what more articles we can do here in the next maybe 5 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so, before I move on to the wrestling wrap up. Well, here's something that I guess Full Night Manga gets TV anime from Sunrise Shaft on Netflix worldwide this year. So this looks like something of interest here. Okay, so see what we got here. Full Night Manga gets TV anime from Sunrise and Shaft on Netflix worldwide this year. Article published by Alex Mateo, published at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, I would imagine, today. So, trailer, visuals, cast, staff unveiled for anime of Katsumi Yasuda's manga. All right, so Netflix announced during the Anime Studio Focus panel at this year's Annecy International Festival event on Wednesday that Kasumi Yatsuda's Full Night manga is getting a television anime. Anime will debut worldwide on Netflix in 2026. The new anime is the first ever collaboration between Sunrise and Shaft. The companies unveiled a teaser trailer, visual, cast, and staff. Original creator Yatsuda also shared a commemorative illustration. The anime stars Koki Uchiyama, who we saw earlier in one of our previous articles, as Toshiro Kamiya, Minako Kotobuki as Yomiko Horai. She is right there. Let's see. Otsuyuki Yukawa, in Suzume's unit director, is directing the anime at Sunrise and Shaft. Jin Tanaka of Oshinoko, in parentheses there, is writing the script. Robert Sato is designing the characters. Tatsuya Kato of Dr. Stone fame is composing the music. Other staff members include assistant director Ryo Shimura, visual development Ryo Kikuchi, art director Maki Takano of JC staff, color design Jin Hibino, director of photography, let's see, Kazunari Ishikawa of Animo Caramel, Chiaki Tokuta of Terra Effect, Takayuki Aizu of Shaft. CG directors Naoki Yamamoto and Junya Hirano. Editing Rie Matsubara of Seiyama Editing Room. Sound director Yota Suruoka. Viz licensed the manga and it describes the story. Kamiya is at the end of his rope. His mother is ill, and his job barely pays for medication, much less food. With few options left, he considers the life-changing process of transformation, ready to give his body up for a payday. What's that? Is that? I guess this is that Japan's funny way of saying he's gonna turn himself into a male prostitute. Transformation. Adi up for a payday. Kamiya is about to explore the limits of society's waning humanity. Yatsuda launched the manga in Shogakukan's Big Comic Superior magazine in November 2020. Shogakukan released the manga's 12th complete compiled book volume on January 20th. The manga ranked number 12 in the male reader list of the 2023 edition of Takarajimasha's Kono Manga ga Sagoi, this manga is amazing, guidebook. The companies teased the anime collaboration last Thursday. Sunrise is best known for the Mobile Suit Gundam series and other mecha anime, such as Muteki Chojin Zambot 3 and Armored Trooper Votoms. Sunrise is also known for its Love Live and Code Geass anime series. The company recently launched its Sunrise 50th anniversary quote-unquote project to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Muteki Chojin Zambot 3, the first work under the Sunrise brand in 2027. Shaft was established in 1975. The studio is notably associated with director Akiyuki Simbo's work. Simbo, alongside Shin Onuma and Tatsuya Oishi, was critical to establishing the studio's house style, persisting to various degrees even among the studio's other directors. The studio is particularly known for such anime as Puella Magi Magica, the Monogatari series, March Comes In Like a Lion. The studio also worked on such animes as Pretty Boy Detective Club, Assault Lily Bouquet, and Ruby Ice Queendom. Shaft is animating the upcoming television anime adaptation of Samuji Yoshimura's Just Like Mona Lisa, translated in Japanese as Seibetsu Mona Lisa no Kimi e manga. All right. Well, there we go with that. So let's see where are we at now, time-wise. Oh, yeah, we're coming up on 40 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the wrestling wrap-up. So let me just do this real quick here. So, anyways, all right. So, anyways, oh yeah. Alrighty then. So let me see now. So first off, we're gonna look back to last night's Monday Night Raw, coming from the O2 in London, England, as of course the WWE is preparing for this weekend's two big events. For the main roster, they'll be in Riyadh for Night of Champions, and then of course on Sunday, NXT brand will be doing their Great American Bash event from the Performance Center in Orlando. But with that being said, going back to last night, of course, the opening match of the evening saw Brie Bella and Paige successfully defend the WWE Women's Tag Team titles over Bayley and Lyra Valkyria in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Of course, with Paige getting the victory on Lyra, but we also are seeing that Lyra turned heel last night by attacking Bayley after the match, frustrated over the fact that they've been recently coming up short in title matches. Lyra finally snapped and just went off on Bayley and just beat her down, including hitting her at one point with her finisher, the Nightwing maneuver. Then in singles action, Ethan Page defeated Dragon Lee in just under 10 minutes. Then you had LA Knight defeat Jimmy Uso in 12:23 with some assistance from an unlikely source, Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa came out and delivered the Samoan spike onto his brother Jimmy Uso to give LA Knight the victory there. And in the main event, you see a title change as the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defeated Braun Breaker and Austin Theory to become the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. During the match, of course, we saw Joe Hendry and Seth Rollins each get involved in the match. We also saw Logan Paul Logan Paul tried to sneak some brass knucks into Austin Theory, only to be chased away by Joe Hendry. Then Seth Rollins came out, got hold of the knucks, and clocked Theory while the referee was distracted, leading to Braun Breaker chasing him away from the ring. And then finally with the Street Profits hitting their tag team finisher, with I believe it was Montez Ford getting the pin on Austin Theory to successfully win the match and the titles, titles thereby. So, and I guess we'll do. And also on last night's show, you had, of course, a couple of promo segments between the King of the Ring finalists. As early in the show, of course, you had Obafemi and Jey Uso have kind of a promo battle in the ring, in which Oba basically told Jey that he wasn't the bloodline member he was really worried about. He was more worried about Roman. I mean, in a way, kind of counting your chickens before they're hatched. That might come back to bite him in the butt. And then of course, Liv Morgan and Io Sky got into it verbally until Io said some things that lit Morgan up, only for Io to basically drop kick her out of the ring. So that's all that went down on last night's last night's Monday Night Raw. So now we're gonna look ahead to tonight's NXT as soon as I grab that. Tonight's NXT, of course, will be coming from, as far as I know, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Oh yes, and they are also taping SmackDown tonight in England. That will be aired on Friday. So on tonight's NXT, coming from the Performance Center on in Orlando, Florida, on CW with Booker T returning after a 1 week break, and Vic Joseph on commentary. The opening match of the evening, we'll see the Cullings, Sean Spears and Nico Vance with Izzy Dame in their corner, taking on the duo of Sean Legacy and Dorian Van Dux in tag team action. Singles action, E.K. Prosper takes on Keanu Carver in singles action. In the finals of the tournament to determine the number one contender to the women's speed title, and in essence, Ren Sinclair's next challenger, Izzy Dame will be taking on Ariana Grace. In tag team action, former NXT tag team champions Hank and Tank, Tank Ledger and Hank Walker, with Matt Matthews in their corner, take on the Birthright duo of Uriah Connors and Chenny Lorenzo, who will, of course, have Ariana Grace and Lucky King in their corner. And then in the main event of tonight's show, Aaron Rourke defends the Evolve title against Tristan Angels in tonight's main event on NXT. Now, to review one more time, of course, what's going to be going down this weekend on, let's see, so Saturday, of course, has WE in the Night of Champions event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, airing on ESPN, coming from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The finals of both the Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring matches will be taking place as Io Sky is set to take on WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Obviously, a non-title match for Liv's world title match. The winner, of course, will get a shot at a title of their choosing. Liv Morgan possibly going after the WWE Women's title. And then Jey Uso is set to take on Obafemi in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Tiffany Stratton is set to defend the United States title against Jade Cargill. Trick Williams defends the United States. Tiffany Stratton will defend the women's United States title against Jade Cargill, while the United States title itself will be defended by Trick Williams over Ricky Saints. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker will be battling each other inside a steel cage, and then in the main event, a triple threat match for the undisputed WWE title, Cody Rhodes defends against Sami Zayn and Gunther. So that was going down on Saturday. Now moving ahead to Sunday and the Great American Bash. NXT's Great American Bash coming from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, and airing on the CW. Shaquan Sugars looks to get his revenge on Dion Lennox after Shaquan Sugars was more or less kicked out of Dark State. Miles Bourne is set to defend the NXT North American title against Tavian Heights. Lola Vice defends the NXT Women's title against Kendall Gray, and Tony D'Angelo defends the NXT title against Naraku. All right, so that's all we got for the wrestling wrap-up. So now what we're going to do, of course, is we are going to, with today being Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2026, and take a look back at this date in each history. So 2021, 1996, 1946 or 56, and 2011. All right. So first off, history. All right. So first off, I'm going to head back 70 years ago, as on this date, 70 years ago today, back in 1956, Warner Brothers' Tugboat Granny Premiered in movie theaters on this date back in 1956. Tugboat Granny is a 1956 Warner Brothers Merry Melodies cartoon animated short directed by Fritz Frayling. The short was released on June 23rd, 1956, and stars Tweety and Sylvester. The voices were performed by Mel Blanc, June Foray. The cartoon's title is a play on Tugboat Annie and is the only Warner Brothers cartoon to bear Granny's name. It joined Guided Muscle and The Greyhounded Hare is a cartoon featured on the final episode of ABC's The Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show on September 2nd, 2000. All right, so there we go with that. So now we're going to move ahead to the year 1996, which is 30 years ago today, as soon as I, of course, clear this part out. As happening on this day in the year 1996, WWE held its King of the Ring event on this date in 1996. It held it from the Mecca Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Of course, the main event saw Shawn Michaels successfully retain the WWF Championship over the British Bulldog, which Michaels had his mentor Jose Lothario in his corner, while the British Bulldog had, of course, his wife Diana Hart-Smith and Jim Cornette in his corner. Steve Austin won the King of the Ring final to become the King of the Ring that year. It was after that the birth of the Austin 316 era began, as it was after the match there in which kind of poking fun at Jake's kind of rebirth angle. Austin, who had dropped his ringmaster gimmick like about a month earlier, Steve Austin had beaten down Jake Roberts, and then stating that, well, you've heard of John 316. Well, Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. So the Austin 316 era began here at 1996 King of the Ring. We also saw Ahmed Johnson defeat Goldust to become the new WWF Intercontinental Champion. Ultimate Warrior defeated Jerry Lawler in just under 4 minutes. The Smoking Gun successfully retained the WWF Tag Team Championships over the Godwins. Sonny was in their corner, while the Godwins were managed by Hillbilly Jim. Of course, leading into the finals, of course, the start of the show saw Steve Austin defeat Mark Merrow in the King of the Ring semifinal to set up the match as Jake Roberts defeated Vader in his King of the Ring semifinal match. All right, so with that, Austin, best of the best. All right, now moving ahead to the year 2011. So 15 years ago today, on this date in the year 2011. Airing on Japanese television, airing on Japanese networks, BS11, Tokyo MX, gatherings, 30 Sai no Hoken Taiku, translated as health and physical education for 30-year-olds. Aired its final episode on Japanese television on this date back in 2011. So on this day, the Health and Physical Education for 30-Year-Olds aired its final episode on Japanese television on this date back in 2011. And finally, in the year 2021, just 5 years ago today, as I get that. Thanks for the show. See you tomorrow. We're not quite done yet there, Netsuri, but we're almost done. We have one more piece of Nietzsche history to get to. As on this date 5 years ago today, the first issue of Black Hammer Reborn went on sale on newsstands from Dark Horse. It sold for $3.99, was 28 pages. And with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, we'll be back here with more Nietzsche news tomorrow. Also, of course, this Sunday I'll be joined by by an old friend of mine, high school, Adrian. He'll be in to help me with the historical comic retrospect. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.